Hey, good evening. How are you? Hopefully you're having an amazing day. It is Friday. Yay. The weekend, so you can stay home and enjoy the family. Yeah. Some of us have been enjoying the family a lot, so it's been awesome. It really has. So hopefully you're making it and getting some work done, and the family's staying sane, and the kids are getting smarter every day. So wanted to do another series of dinner chat, and so hopefully some of you were able to do that last night and watch the video with the family, spark some questions. If not, you can go back on my site or my YouTube, on my Facebook or on my YouTube, and see that video so that you can do that maybe with your family and spark some questions. So I am jumping all around in this book. And since it's Dress Down Casual Friday, I wore my Miracle League shirt. One of my favorite organizations in the world is Access of Wilmington, which their website is accessilm.org. You can go and check them out. But I have an excerpt from my book that I want to read today for them, and just thought maybe this will bring a little bit of joy. So the Miracle Field is a completely rubberized baseball field. We built the largest one in the country in Wilmington, North Carolina. I'm going to tell you a little bit about that story, and then pose some questions to you that maybe you can chat with your family about and your kids, and maybe spark some good conversation, learn a little about your kids, and maybe some life lessons. So the call came from a former UNCW professor who wanted to introduce me to the concept of the Miracle League. I jumped in my truck and headed out to the outskirts of Wilmington to this empty field adjacent to a few softball fields. Dan Johnson shared his vision of a sports complex, a baseball field that would be open and safe for all abilities to play together. I was excited to help build the foundation of this great facility and the programs that would call it home. This baseball field would allow kids and adults with physical and mental disabilities to participate in baseball and softball games on a regulation field with their parents and friends cheering from the bleachers. The field, the turf, the base paths, the bases are all completely wheelchair friendly, creating zero obstacle surface from the parking lot to the outfield fences. The athletes who use the field range in ages from 3 to nearly 80. In the Miracle League, we have they are intermingled on 10 teams. We have 2 competitive teams that are formed with our athletes who don't require the volunteer buddies to help them. We also have a littles game for our youngest players to play in. It is the most adorable thing you have ever seen in your entire life. The smiles, the hugs, the freedom, the pure joy, the excitement in the faces of both athlete and family member, the pride of accomplishment, interacting in a real sport on a real team. None of this would have happened without the Miracle League. As I stand on the rubber pitching circle, tossing the ball, as I stand on the rubber pitching circle, tossing ball after ball, trying to hit those bats, I think back to those lessons I learned from my mom. Seeing these kids and their devoted parents work so hard to accomplish the simplest tasks, that the occasional reminder that we all need to not take things for granted. Even after my life-changing accident, and even after playing basketball with the Port City Spokesman, I somehow forgot to be thankful for all the things that I can do. I can open a car door and drive across town. I can wrap my arms around my wife and kids. I can climb up the stairs to my office, and I can see all the colors of the sunrise over the Intercoastal Waterway. It seems unfair at times that everyone can't do the same. I can't give anyone new legs or eyes. I can't go back in time and change the condition or event that caused them to never be able to walk. All I can do is make this experience as normal as possible for these athletes. Isn't that what we all want in life, to feel included? So that's my volunteer job, to treat these Miracle League players like everybody else. That includes hugs, encouragement, and pats on the back. But it also includes some good-natured teasing. One day, one of my players was using a walker to get to third base, from third base to home plate. "Come on, Bonnie," I shouted. "You better move it, or I'm going to take this ball and throw it at your rear end." A visitor may have been appalled to witness an adult supporter telling someone using a walker to move their bottom. But the truth is, Bonnie had gone much faster before. She wasn't trying hard. And as a friend and a fan, I am expected to encourage her to do her best. I said it in a teasing voice. I said it in a teasing voice, and sure enough, her smile broadened, and she picked up the pace for those final 25 feet. It's the kind of normalcy these kids crave. They love the cheers and the hugs when they score a run, but they also love being challenged to do their best. These kids and adults put forth extraordinary effort every day just to adapt to the lives that we take for granted. So we naturally try to make things as easy as possible for them. But sometimes when we say, you can do more, you can do better, it demonstrates that we know what they are capable of. The Miracle League has changed lives of volunteers and athletes. For example, Mason, an amazing young man with Down syndrome, had been attending his brother's baseball games year after year, having never had the opportunity to play on his own team. Now his brothers attend his games and bring their teammates to root on Mason. He lights up as the bat is placed in his hands. He swings with all his heart and takes off around the bases with brothers running behind him, cheering the whole way. Mason, you see, doesn't like to stop at first base. He likes to go all the way around the diamond when he hits. Just as my mom influenced me to accept all people as they are, I feel like my sons have learned to reach out to those who are different. They join me in volunteering at the Miracle League games, but they also make connections on their own. My son Tatum's best buddy from school is one of the coolest dudes around. Sisir was born visually impaired, and can barely make out any objects, but it doesn't stop him from being the funniest, wildest, worst dancing 10-year-old I know. The dancing is a running joke between me and his mother. She says when he dances more like my people, which I argue because some of us white people do have rhythm. I asked his mom one day if she thought he would be interested in coming out to the field one Saturday and trying out our league. Understandably, she was hesitant. She wanted him to play baseball with his classmates, but it was tough for her to accept that playing in the standard recreational leagues would grow more difficult as the kids got older and the games got more competitive. Sisir goes wide open on the playground with my son holding his hand and guiding him around safely most of the time. But it's the fast contact sports and were a safety issue due to Sisir's limited eyesight. After a few invitations, she finally agreed to bring him out for a game. The rest is history. At the Miracle Field has become his happy place. Mom is so thrilled that she gets to watch from the bleachers as my son or another buddy helps Sisir around the field during a game. The big highlight is when he gets to crush the special beeper ball I get to pitch to him. The beeper ball makes special sounds, so our visually impaired players hear the ball as it gets closer. As Sisir tracked the sound of the ball, he learned to time his swing. He then found a way to the bases through the beeper bases as well. It's a beautiful feeling to experience when you witness someone independently succeed at something they never thought was attainable. The Miracle Field creates independence, instills pride, and encourages accomplishment. It truly is a special place and really like no other I have ever experienced. Take some time to find one near you. One afternoon could change your life. So that's just a brief experience of a few stories I have to tell about Access of Wilmington and the Miracle Field. So here's a few questions for you. Maybe you can ask your family tonight at dinner. Do you know anyone who has had a physical, intellectual, or developmental disability? And tell me more about them. What's your relationship? And tell me some stories. Another question. Have you ever helped or supported them in any way, and what did you do? And the last question is, how can you be more supportive and give back to that population or that individual in the future? And the last is my challenge for you. And my challenge is for you to go and visit accessilm.org. look at the website, look at the videos, look at everything that we have going on. There's way more than just the Miracle League. There's the SOAR program, there are the FIT program, there's yoga, there is all types of things, personal fitness things that are going on, really supporting the people in our community who have sometimes been forgotten about. So go and check them out, and I really appreciate your time. Hopefully you'll have a great dinner tonight with the family. Watch the video, ask the questions, and just get to chatting with your family again. So love you guys, and I will talk to you soon.